Let's start off. Quick introduction from my side. My name is Timon Slachter. I'm an account manager at ProDVX, and I represent ProDVX on the commercial side within the Benelux region and all of the DACH countries, which are the German-speaking countries as well. Alongside me here is Chris Wiegeraad from GoBright. If you would do a quick introduction of yourself, Chris.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Chris Wiegeraad. A little difficult. I'm 48 years old and I'm a commercial director of GoBright. And my responsibility is setting up our channel with distributors and resellers. And we do that actually globally. So we're very excited to meet you today, and we hope that you have a good time with us.
Yeah, well, thank you, Chris. I think we'll make sure that happens for sure. But let's see how it goes. So, for all of you joining today, thanks for joining. First of all, today, me and Chris will be telling you a little bit and showing you a little bit about creating a smart office, explaining a little bit more about what a smart office actually is. With more and more people working hybridly these days, you see with COVID around the corner still lurking that, having a flexible workplace and having a place, you can switch or go to less days in a week than you used to, is becoming more and more of a, predominant thing. So, to start off, we'll give off a quick introduction of both companies. Chris will tell you something about GoBright, after which I will do a little introduction of ProDVX and what we do. After which, we'll do a little deep dive into both companies' history, tell you a little bit more about where we come from, what got us here, and what we do right now. After which, we'll go into a neat little tool, if I may say so myself, which we created alongside GoBright to showcase, which applications we can make more effective, more productive within your office by digitalizing everything together with our technology. And then last but not least, we'll zoom into 3 different modules of those applications which you might find in your own offices.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let me explain a little about GoBright and where we come from. Our CEO, Wiegeraad, he founded GoBright in 2016, and the desire was there to create and build an innovative platform on all kinds of booking solutions. And innovation and being the best in it is one of our major drivers. So he started to develop together with another guy, Gerco. He's still with us. He's responsible for the development within GoBright, and developed the platform, which started actually at that time with room booking. And because GoBright only makes software for the room booking, we had to partner up with somebody for the room panels. And in 2017, we partnered up with ProDVX. So it's not something new that we today will explain to you, but it's a proven concept which already there started in 2017. And in everything we do, we want to be the best. It's in our genes. So our driving force behind what we build and what we make is that we do our own in-house software development. So everything we build, we do that ourselves. And at the moment, we also make our own hardware for the desking proposition. But we'll get maybe a little later to that. So in the past few years behind us, COVID was very good to us because it made that people in every kind of offices, everywhere around the world, realize that they need technology to make the office work. Because you don't go to the office to work only anymore, you be there to cooperate with somebody, to meet people. So the office environment is changing from a working place to a meeting place. You have to share all the assets, so you need booking tools for that because everybody should have access and not only a secretary or somebody else. So we start building and expanding the platform to what it's today. And we do that based on our core values, and that's very important to us. We really want to meet you. We want to have a relationship with you. We want to be open and honest. Although we probably don't do any business. It could also be the end of a conversation. But yeah, we think that if we can work together today, we can do it for the long run. And in everything we do, we try to keep ourselves to that core values and expect that also from partners that we're working with. So we also won some prizes for design and development of our products. One of them was recently in 2021. That was for the Benelux. We won a prize for our desking solutions, for the hybrid working solutions for desks. So that's quite nice. And we expect a lot from 2022 because now a lot of people can return to the office somewhere around this year. And we're very excited to see that a lot of organizations already setting up systems like ours to make sure that they're ready. And we know that there's a tremendous lot to come. And since we only work via a channel of distributors and resellers, we need you guys, which are on the call obviously today, to help us with that, to be successful together. And that's why we partner also with ProDVX. So Timon, go ahead.
Yeah, please take us to the next slide, Bram. As Chris just explained, there's a lot of history between our companies. Us goes back all the way to 2004 when ProDVX brand was actually founded within a different company than we're in now. Back in that day, the Android scene was a little bit smaller overall, and there was still overall within the business not as much trust for it as there is now. As many guys said back then, Android, that's maybe a cool thing to do on your phone, maybe a business to consumer thing, not as much a business thing. Well, gladly for us, and I think we hopped in at the right time, that opinion changed generally over the market. So we were actually one of the first to, become specialists within that segment of the market. So within 2011, we actually became an independent brand, ProDVX Europe, with offices in both Taiwan and the Netherlands. And all the way in 2012, so 1 year later, we actually created our very first Android panel PC. A lot of the feedback we got in the market was, I have these great solutions which can be either a box PC with a external display, for example, or I have these business to consumer tablets I'm mounting on the wall. But these have a battery not really meant for 24/7 usage. Hence, we jumped into that opportunity and that market, which turned out to be a great success. So along the years, talking to several different software developers, also in the segment of room signage, for example, we actually got more aware of the fact that using signaling from a distance with, for example, LEDs would allow room signage to be much more effective. In this way, from a distance, people were able to see, what exactly is going on in that room. Is it available or is it occupied at this moment? So hence why we created our very first room signage panel with LED signaling in 2015. And a few years after, we partnered up with GoBright in 2017, to do this thing hand in hand. We saw as, two Dutch companies that collaborating in this way, which would give us both a lot of benefits. We will go more in depth on this partnership a bit further on. But I think our progress and the progress we've made in the room signage and meeting room world has gone hand in hand over the years. So in 2019, a few years later, we actually created the very first Android panel PC or panel PC overall, which has an LED bar surrounding the entire frame of the unit. This would allow software developers to then create, for example, a clock system, with 52 LEDs individually, which could be configured from 1 to 2 to 3. All the way then another year forward in 2020, we created a very new product series, which GoBright, of course, has certified and worked with already, and we will continue to do so for many more years. So, Bram, if you could take us to the next slide, please. So why would you choose ProDVX? In combination with our software partners such as GoBright, It's that, as I said before, we've been a specialist in this market for, quite a few years now, with a lot of knowledge and a lot of development skills within this specific branch. We don't have a focus for a lot of different size screens. No, we like to focus on the smaller segment of the all-in-one market, which varies from 7 to 32 inches. With that comes the responsibility of creating something that lasts you a very long time. You don't want to, sell or buy a piece of hardware that only lasts you 1 year or 2 years, and which has basically no warranty. Which is why we're creating 24/7 usage hardware, which is commercial grade. It's designed to last a long time. The light it gives or the brightness it gives is also at a high premium grade. And I think, allowing people to have a warranty of at least 3 to 5 years, I think it adds a lot of value to that. Besides that, we do a lot of customized projects as well. But, in all cases, hardware and software go hand in hand, which is why our partnership with GoBright is so important to us. So, Bram, take us to the next slide, please.
Yeah, and to continue on that, it's not only the will to work together, but to make sure that the channel has everything fixed to sell to their customers as a combined product. We said that we want to certify our cooperation. So that means that we establish a document in which we state a lot of things what we expect from one another to do to make sure that the combination of the GoBright platform and the hardware of ProDVX always works together. And in the case of warranty, that it's always covered. You won't get any discussion with either ProDVX or GoBright if you need help or you need warranty or you need support. So that's the basis of our hardware certification. And on our website, you can see that we make that also very important. So we do have more certified hardware partners. But ProDVX is the first one and the last and the longest one until now. Because we started, as I said, already in 2017. We cover the warranty. So you as a reseller or a distributor in the channel are free to sell the both products to one another as one product. And the reason that we can do that is because there's a thorough testing process. So if ProDVX, for example, come up with new models, they send us some of those models, we test them, and we certify them. So you can see on our help center that these and these models of ProDVX are certified hardware. And also the other way around. If we develop some other features which are connected to the panels, for example, then we have to explain and to deliver to ProDVX our products so that they can test it and make sure that the products always work to one another. And then we get into some more specific hardware specifications on this slide, Timon. So maybe you can add something to that.
Yeah, sure. Thoroughly tested, as my colleague Chris has said before. We make sure everything goes hand in hand all the time. So as Chris just stated, when something new comes out of ProDVX, and we make sure GoBright as a certified partner is one of the first to actually test it. Going forward in the future, we can actually also offer the possibility of creating a package, that will enlighten either a reseller or a distributor to make their life a little bit easier, and make selling the bundle a lot easier as well. So we at ProDVX,
what does that mean? What does that mean, Timon? Exactly.
Well, this means exactly, selling two items separately. I think it can be a bit of an administrative mumbo jumbo. So I think going forward, offering a bundled package might be very, very positive for a lot of our partners out there. This would basically come down to, the GoBright application already being on the device when it's shipped out by us. This would enable our partners within the channel, to create one story without having to combine, the hardware and software together. Because in the end, when we're thinking of the complete solution, when we're thinking of a customer who says, hey, I want to make my office more efficient, more productive, he's thinking of one combined solution. He's not thinking about one piece of hardware or one brand of software. He's thinking about, one specific solution. So that's where we go hand in hand. That's what we're developing at this very moment in time. Chris, I think we're looking very positive to do so, but yeah, the future is looking bright in that stuff.
Yep. Yeah, it's more easy. So the easier it gets, the easier it is to sell, the easier it is to the customer to understand. And it's also to rule out some other competition, of course, because let's face it, we do have some competition with companies who only do the room booking part, for example, and they have their own screen and their own software. So in this case, you get a bundle, a package with the software and the hardware integrated, so it compares exactly to what the others does. So it makes it more easy to explain to your channel. So we hope that you will love this, and well, Timon or me will get back on that later, or in the business we do daily to daily. Yeah, great step forward.
Yeah, agreed, Chris. If you could step us forward to the next slide, please, Bron. Then, all right. So, Chris, if you would.
Yeah, what you see here is an overview of what could be a modern hybrid working office environment. And this is why there is so much to do in our business, because when I went out 4 years ago for the first time with a little briefcase with a ProDVX panel in it, I just went to all kinds of organizations and gave demos of our solutions. And basically at that time, a lot of people were saying, okay, we didn't know that this exists and that it's important, and where do we use it for and stuff. But now COVID kicked in, and everybody suddenly knows that you don't have to go to the office to work, because with your laptop and a Wi-Fi connection, you can work actually everywhere. It's at the McDonald's or in a hotel, or when you're moving from an airport, or even from home. And because of COVID, everybody experienced how it is to work from home. So now that we're in the process of returning to the office, larger offices have acknowledged that they don't need that much desks anymore, for example, because we could easily share desks. So in the past, it used to be that you have your own assigned desk, and now it could be that you have to share your desk with 4 other people or 3 other people. They need a lot of more meeting rooms or areas where you can cooperate or work together with somebody, because you make an appointment that on a particular day you will work on the project together at the office. So the usage of the office will tremendously change over the coming years. A lot of companies already changed it and have been working on it for the past 2 years, and a lot of organizations will come now. And it doesn't matter in which vertical you are. It doesn't matter if it's governmental, if it's industry, everywhere where people come together in an office, it will change. And it makes that you actually move around through the office. So when you come in, you first of all make sure that in the electronic lockers, you see them in the upper right corner, that you stuff your bag there and your coat, and you probably only take your phone and your laptop, and you move around through the office from desk to meeting room, again back to a meeting room, to lunch, then to a desk, and then to a meeting room. So it would be very handy if you have an app which you can see in one overview where you have to be all day, or you can see it on your laptop, or probably on screens on the wall which guide you through the building, and that you can make your reservation. So you can allocate yourself next to one of your favorite colleagues, or keep away from them, just what you want. You can see on the meeting room at what time you have to be there, and you can check into your desk, and it raises automatically to your standing and seating height so that you stay comfortable and healthy. And of course, you can also arrange your meeting together with some catering and services, a coffee or lunch or whatever, and you can also control the room. So and then the last one is the visitor management. So how do you make sure that your visitors arrive on time, that they don't have to wait in the reception area, and that you are connected directly to your visitors the moment that they arrive? And that's basically all in this platform. So if you look to the GoBright software, then we cover all these areas within the office. And basically what we see that has been changed for 4 years ago is that people 4 years ago were particularly looking for one solution. And now mainly all organizations are looking for a total platform. The less different suppliers we have, the more we can cover in one system, the better it is to them. So with GoBright, you have a great advantage in the market, because there are not that many software developers who build a platform like this. And in several areas in this platform, we are connected to the ProDVX hardware. And that makes it quite interesting, because it's just like Timon said, they are not specialized in the big screens like the big vendors that we all know. They are just specialized in the smaller ones, and those are very, very interesting for our business. So we can see that on the next slide, for example. And by the way, before I forget, if you want to use that particular tool, because you can scan the QR code, this is an interactive floor map, which you can which you can put on your website. So it covers more than, let's say, 15 videos, and we will show you later on. But you can also get this as a reseller to put on your website to gain all kinds of attention to your website. So Timon, can you take us to the next one? Or is it me still? That's me still, right?
Yeah, Chris, if you could show us a little bit more about the meeting room booking solution. I think Bram in the background has a little video prepared for all of your information. The video shown within this webinar can actually be seen by clicking through the tool Chris just talked about. So by highlighting the several different aspects of the office and clicking here and there, you can actually pop up these videos within the tool itself.
Yeah, that's right. So the basics of room booking is that we integrate with Microsoft Office 365, for example, or Exchange, or Google G Suite. So we connect our solution to the calendaring system of the end customer. And that means that it doesn't matter where they book a meeting. If they either do that via Outlook, or they do that via an app, or via the online portal, the meeting will always be visible and always be in your personal agenda, and also the invitations will be sent to your invites. And when you come into the building, you see on the left side this guy is watching. We also have the ability to show where the particular meeting rooms are, because sometimes these buildings are so big that you not know from a short notice where you have to go to. So we do have a guiding system which has been drawn out of all these meetings that have been planned. And when you come to the meeting room, you see on the mid photo is that there's the room panel of ProDVX, which is obviously shining bright. And you can just touch it and say, hey, I want to book this meeting room now, because it's still green, and that means it's available. And because of the fact that these panels have an NFC reader possibility, you can also do that with your NFC card or tag. So it's quite convenient, because you already came into the building with that same hardware device. So people are used to use that. And that's a great advantage of the ProDVX panels. And once you are in the meeting room, you could also have the control of the meeting room. So switch on the lights, switch on the screen, and all kinds of stuff. And you can do that with exactly the same panel as you can see on the mid and the right photograph. Timon?
So are we actually capable of displaying a little video, moderator Bram, to showcase just how easy it is to use this particular application?
Yes, we can, but when I show the video, you get muted, and I didn't want to interrupt you. So here comes the first video.
Sure, let's discuss this now. I'll let you know in a minute which room we're in. Picture having a sudden ad hoc meeting and you need a room. With the GoBright room panel, making a reservation for your desired space is easier than ever. The room panel provides a quick and clear indication on where you can have the meeting. It seems this room is taken, so I'm not gonna disturb my colleagues. I can tell at a glance that another party will be having a meeting here in a little while. Look, this one's available. Okay guys, let's start this meeting. Booking meeting rooms on ad hoc basis has never been this effortless, thanks to the combination of GoBright room booking and room displays.
Yes, thank you for taking us to that video, Bram. Very clear explanation of what we can do. If you could take us to the next slide, Bram, I will also enlighten you on the piece of hardware that goes behind creating those room booking or room controlling applications. So as you could see in the video, there are several ways of going about it. We as a brand or as a hardware manufacturer, to be precise, we like to offer our customers and also the GoBright users to have a few different options in which way they like to go. So if we're going all out, we have the surround LED bar unit, which, as Chris said before, also includes an internal NFC module. Having this internal NFC module present within the application and within the functionality of the device itself, it allows meetings to be booked much more efficiently. No one wants to be stuck in front of a panel typing everything out or logging into a device on its own. Of course, that functionality is there, but to make things more efficient, you can actually log on to the device with your specific employee badge, or in some cases even a keychain. Well, as I said before, these things come in different shapes and sizes. We have 7-inch panels available which can do this, 10-inch panels, but also different ways of showing the availability of a room. So as you can see on your screen right now, there is surround LED units which have 52 LEDs, as I said before, which can be configured from 1 to 52. But there's also panels available which just have these side LEDs available. Of course, both serve the same purpose, but it leaves the customer some room for creating the thing they want to have exactly, and just giving them a few different options. What's also crucial in creating an solution which actually is pleasing to the eye as well, we actually support a power over Ethernet functionality on these devices. This allows the end customer and the installer as well to create a very clean solution overall. By mounting these devices on a glass panel meeting room, and being able to create a nice cable management solutions, you're also looking at a very clean and reliable piece of hardware that looks good. So last but not least, as we said before and as we stated before, Android development goes on and it goes on. So as of recently, the 10 SLBN, which is listed on this slide, it comes out with Android 9. Because we have a certified partnership with GoBright, we've been going back and forth in the background with GoBright, making sure that everything is tested beforehand. So GoBright is one of the first parties to actually get their hands on the Android 9 units for ProDVX, to make sure that in time and in due course, when all of these devices are going to be rolled out with Android 9, that the application is ready and you guys can seamlessly roll on to the next step of Android as well. So next slide please, Rob.
So the next thing to room booking is obviously desk booking. And desk booking gives organizations the ability to manage how many people will come to the building. Because let's say you have 500 employees and you only want 100 to be there at the max, you should have a reservation for a desk actually to enter the building. And if you don't have a reservation, you don't come in. That's why desk booking solutions these days are so popular, because everybody is looking for that. And once they start thinking about an app, it could be easy if everybody is able to book a desk from home. But then what happens when you come into the building? How do I find my desk? How do I check into my desk? What does my desk do if I not attend to the desk? How do I find my colleague because I want to work together with somebody? And how do I make sure that I am in the same area, for example? Well, we do have some tools for that, which you can use from your mobile app or from your laptop, for example. But what we experience is that a lot of organizations want to have at several points in the building, they want to have a screen which you can touch and you can play with, so that you can do all these things from a screen. So if you step out of the elevator, for example, you can see actually the floor plan of the floor that you stepped out. And on that floor plan, this is a very luxury one, by the way, you can see which desks are available or which are occupied, or probably have to be cleaned before you attend there. You can see what meeting rooms are occupied. So you can find your colleague here actually by just typing in the name and say, okay, I want to book the desk next to my colleague. And that's why we need these beautiful screens from ProDVX, because again, they have the ability to connect an NFC reader here, so that with the same NFC tag or badge, which you already can book the meeting rooms, you can also book the desk here from a screen. And what we see is that the need of having these kinds of information screens within the office building is increasing tremendously. You can also suffer yourself that the signage in stores, when you go to a store or a gas station, you see more and more these information screens, and it also appears into offices. So we also certify this 32-inch monitor of ProDVX as a hardware component within our partner certification. And I think on the next slide, Timon will give some more insights on the hardware specifications.
Yes, thank you, Chris. So before we go into the hardware specifications, we have, of course, another one of those nice looking videos for you. So hang on tight. I will, keep quiet for a little while and let you enjoy the video footage.
With GoBright Mapping, you can easily see which workstations are occupied or available. We have this interactive map viewer hanging in every department, so everyone can quickly and easily reserve their workplace, meeting room, or even a locker. This map viewer is exactly the same as the mapping in the GoBright app and portal, so what I book here is also visible in the app or portal. I have an appointment with Stephanie at the office today. I'll check where she works. Ah, here she is. Fortunately, this desk next to her is still available, so I'll book it immediately. My colleague from Facility Management can easily adjust or create the floor plans himself in the GoBright portal. GoBright Mapping gives employees a live visual display of the entire office. Booking your workplace has never been easier.
Thank you very much. Well, as Chris said before, having a map available of all, of the entire floor plan, giving you the option of seeing what's available and what's not, it actually makes coming into the office much smoother than it used to be. Also, with new COVID regulations in place, you actually get the opportunity to, choose for yourself in how much of a crowded place you want to be, how many spaces apart you would like from the person sitting next to you. Well, with the GoBright application, you get just that. In combination with our hardware, which is made perfectly for using applications like this is very much possible. So, as I said before, ProDVX likes to focus more on the smaller size screens, and 32 inches is where we can just keep the quality as perfect as we want to. This 32-inch screen actually has a 10-point PCAP touch, which means you can actually, for typing purposes, it works perfectly as well. You can use all 5 fingers on both hands at the same time. Having the optionality of logging in with your personal information via NFC badge actually also makes things a lot more smoother overall. With the option of accessorizing these screens with its pogo pin connectors, you have, just the right solution for that. Pogo pins are new to some. They're actually a thing on the backside of the devices, which is an extension of a normal USB port. So what I see in the field is that, for example, in an office environment, but also in different branches such as, or industries such as retail, people like to have accessorized or accessory modules mounted on a device, but it needs to be fixed. Imagine having 20 different people tapping their card slightly too hard on a module that's just mounted via USB, regular USB a day. You might have a case of, accessories breaking down over time, having to swap out these modules over time. Well, with having a fixed NFC module, which can be screwed onto the backside of the device and which is fixed 100%, you have a much more durable solution overall. Overall, this goes for NFC badges, but we can also use camera modules, which can be seen on the next slide, or even more options for many different more industries. So within the GoBright application, we've chosen to display this screen in a landscape solution, but of course with different offices come different floor plans. We also offer the optionality of mounting or creating a kiosk for these devices, which is in portrait mode. By having the optionality to flip or rotate the device, I think it gives a lot more flexibility to all of those end users out there. So I think that's most of the points covered for the hardware part. Please, Bram, take us to the next slide, if you will.
Yeah, and then we come to the last solution which you want to discuss today, and that's the visitor registration. So imagine that you make an appointment via Outlook, for example. We have the ability to supply you with an Outlook plugin. So you can make a reservation for the meeting room you need, which is big enough, which has the amenities you need, like a big screen or a conversation online stuff with it. You can also arrange your catering, and then next you can pre-register your visitors. That means that next to the invitation from Outlook, they always also get a QR code sent by email from out of the GoBright solution. And when people come into the reception area, there can be a panel like this, which shows our software solution, of course. And the only thing you have to do is just check in with your QR code. And that means that your credentials will be checked. You don't have to put in all your name and number and stuff. And the organizer of the meeting will receive a text message that you are downstairs, so you don't have to wait for the receptionist while she's still on the phone. You don't have to wait in a queuing line. You get in direct touch with your host, and he or she can pick you up at the reception area. So that's what we do with visitor registration. It's coming from the same platform, and we also need some hardware for that. So Timon, can you take us through that?
Yeah, let's head on to the next slide. Of course, once again, hop into a nice video we created over the course of this past quarter. If we could have a look at that, please, that would be great.
Today, my best customer comes to visit. When I sent him the meeting request via the GoBright portal, I immediately pre-registered him as well. That saves him a lot of time upon arrival. He received an email with a QR code. As you can see, scanning the QR code is enough. Super easy. He doesn't have to disturb the receptionist, and she can continue her phone call. I just received a text message telling me Tom Johnson has arrived. This means the receptionist doesn't have to call or search for me. That saves time for everyone. So, let's pick him up. And does your company have a lot of daily visitors? Just use multiple visitor registration displays in your reception area. By registering through GoBright Visitor Registration, we also have an overview of all current visitors. Suppose there is a calamity, then it is immediately clear who is in the building. No need to worry about your personal data. With GoBright, all data is securely stored according to the GDPR legislation of the EU. GoBright Digital Reception. Complete visitor registration software with powerful features such as pre-registrations, custom-made design and optional badge printing.
So yeah, thank you for showing us yet another video. If you're wondering, if there's any more videos we made out there, there is. If you go back a few slides in this same presentation, which we will also, of course, share with you afterwards, you'll have the possibilities, as is shown right now, to scan this QR code and see for yourself which solutions are out there and seeing which videos we've made together. So, Bram, if you could take me back to the last slide we were on, that would be great. So yeah, this is the final piece of hardware we will be showing and reviewing within this webinar, which goes hand in hand with GoBright's visit application. So having a piece of hardware, that can be placed within a reception or any other part of the office, will enlighten and create a lot more efficiency for either the person visiting your workplace, but also the person sitting behind the desk, maybe manning the reception. As Chris stated before, it could be that this person is on the phone handling your different customers at this time, and you don't want to keep your visitor waiting. In this scenario, having our hardware combined with the GoBright application and the visit module, they can actually get on with their work, go towards their meeting a lot sooner. So, zooming into the hardware, there's two different ways we can go about. As you can see on the pictures, we have great stands which can be used just to place upon your reception desk. But there's two ways of going about it. As you can see in the picture, there is a 10-inch hardware device from which a camera is situated in the longer or the horizontal bezel. So within there is a 5-megapixel camera which you can use to scan your badge or create a picture of the person visiting, whichever functionality you're using within the app. Because there is many different I/O ports, there is many different functionalities you can add to this depending on your application, of course. If you want, for instance, to go a little deeper into badge printing, this is a way you can go by hooking up a badge printer to the device itself via one of the many I/O ports, which in this case will most likely be USB. You can actually, create a badge much more easy by connecting some hardware devices. Having a lot of brightness, a high amount of brightness in this case, can also be beneficial in this scenario, as receptions are often situated in very bright spaces. As the picture on your right, it's a very light room. You might have some sun shining in from the side. You want your application to be visible, in this case the GoBright application as well, which is why you need a piece of hardware that has the brightness you need, and also is able to keep this up for a longer period of time. As I said before, a lot of ProDVX products offer 3-year warranty by default. This is something we can actually back up as well by having a lot of or a very high amount of candela at the very beginning. We can offer the durability of offering this over a longer time. The way brightness works on panels is that after a set amount of time, let's say your MTBF, mean time before failure, is actually 45 to 50K hours. This translates into, let's say, 5 years. Over this amount, or over this period, your brightness on a panel naturally degrades over time. So after the MTBF, this actually goes down all the way to 50%. So if you have a high brightness panel, in this case 500 candelas in total, after 5 years of using it, it will be halved down in 250. And what we see in the business a lot is that a lot of the other panels out there, they start off, for example, with a panel which is only 250 candela to start with. So, because we can offer this high brightness panels, we like to offer the longer warranty, because it gives you the opportunity of using these devices over a longer and extended period of time. Well, I think that's it for this slide. If you have any questions regarding this specific module or any of the other modules you've seen before, feel free to ask some questions in the chat functionality of the GoToWebinar tool. So that's actually the end of the webinar. We don't want to keep you here too long and keep it very monotone, but we would actually like to hear from you as well. What your ideas are on the topic, but of course also to see if you have any questions for us. Maybe Chris, you can go through a little of some of the questions you've had on your end. I'll check the same on my side.
Yeah, one of the things is what about data? Because a lot of organizations asking about data security, and they're right, because there occur sometimes some data breaches every once in a while. First of all, GoBright is ISO 27001 certified, and that means that it's the highest qualification of data security, for example. Mm-hmm. Next to that, we only use the Microsoft Azure platform. And these two together gives most of the organizations the confidence that we have set up our systems the right way. And next to that, we work with a data security document. It's actually a data processing document. So we always agree between us and the customer how the data is been stored and protected. And that's important because if you use a room booking system, of course, we integrate with the calendar, and then we process data of that particular organization, like names and email addresses. And that should be covered by the European GDPR law. And that's what we do. Now, you probably could get some fear from that because you don't have the knowledge. You don't have to, because everything what has to do with data security and with the GDPR rules, we cover that directly with the end customer. So we stay out the whole process, but even if it comes to legal or to data protection, we help channel out to do that directly with the customer. So that gives you the comfort to just sell the product, which you're good at, obviously. So that answers.
Well, sounds good, Chris. Bram, I'm wondering if you've had any questions on your side, anything people have maybe sent you an email about, use the chat for?
Yes, one of the questions that has come in is for both of you actually, is when do you expect the ProDVX and GoBright bundle to be available?
Well, let me add to that first of all. The GoBright bundle with ProDVX is something we, me and Chris are discussing at this very moment. We are making sure that in the background, everything is set in stone. Things are very clear on both ends. But this is something that we would like to offer to our channel in the near future. Speaking for myself, I think we have a pretty clear understanding of what we can offer, where the synergy lies, and we are ready to offer this via our shared partners as well. So if you ask me, this is ready to go soon, let's say next week.
Yeah, and if you're interested in that, please send one of us an email. You can see our credentials here down in the presentation, and we'll reach out to you immediately for that. No worries.
All right, very nice. And I have a question for you, Timon. What other ProDVX devices offer Android 9?
So as I just said before, it's for now the 10 SLBN, which is Android 9 by default. As we're hearing a lot of inquiries from the market, we like to, offer newer Android versions. That's a lot of the feedback we get, Of course, we also see a side-to-side comparison from people using Android devices, for example, their mobile or their personal use, which are now, for example, on Android 11. Of course, there's a very clear difference in there, being that, the latest consumer Android versions, they won't be, business-proof, so to speak. So if you have a device that's on the very latest Android version, this also means you get, all the hiccup updates you need to do. There's still a lot of patches that need to roll out for these versions. So hence why, generally the business market for Android is always 2 years back on the consumer market. But of course, we're hearing the feedback. All of our devices have been on Android 8.1 for the past 2 years. Hence why we've said, okay, we've got an Android 9 image, which GoBright has already tested for the past few months, which we will roll out over the course of this year. So, this is coming. This is already present on our APPC 10 SLBN device, but alongside, it's also present and has been since last year on all of our box PCs. But, keep your eyes open. I think many of our devices will actually become available with Android 9 by default and out of the box along the course of this quarter and the next. And of course, if you ever feel the need to or have one of our devices that is currently on Android 8 and you wish to have it on Android 9, just let us know. We'll be able to provide you with the tools, the explanations, just to do so.
All right, that sounds good. Little reminder, if you have any more questions, you can ask them right now. Just put them in the chat, put them in the question form. That's the one chat. In the meantime, I have another one for you, Timon. Is there any new hardware coming this year?
Yeah, so some exclusives. I'm not going to go too much into detail here, as I think that's up to, our marketing colleagues in general. But, keep your eyes open. ProDVX is working on some very exciting stuff. I'm sure GoBright is as well, and they will also be involved or be one of the first people involved. But we have some exciting announcements coming up for ISE. So if you have the opportunity, please come down to our booth to visit us. I'm sure GoBright will also be, participating, so you can also have a visit at their booth. But keep your eyes open. I think there's some great and exciting news coming.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe the last question.
Let me see. Let me see. I see a lot of greetings from Sky Group and from New Zealand here, but I don't see any more questions.
Well, if any more questions pop up, I can imagine, lots of you are selling ProDVX through your channels or, the GoBright application, and a lot of you are combining it as well. So if any more questions pop up, you're in the course of, trying to get that deal, or, you are trying to get into a new opportunity and you think, okay, I might use GoBright software with ProDVX hardware in order to get in. If you need our help or you need any tips on how to, take the best route or what's the best way about it, just reach out to either me or Chris. Our credentials are down below. Of course, you can call both of our offices. It's a nice thing of being, I think, a Dutch local company. We're all very open, so we like to communicate with you directly. And if you have any questions, we're always free to help you out there.
Yep, and also from my side, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for taking your interest in GoBright and ProDVX, and we'll see each other around. Stay safe.
From my side as well, thank you all for attending. I hope you had a good one. Let's assume so. If you have any more questions, just please let us know. And for now, have a great Thursday and look forward to, almost the weekend. So cheers.
Bye-bye.